So we're going to continue with the guillotine, and we're going to get into a position from the guard where we can actually get the guillotine. But first of all, I want to go over a couple little things that I saw you guys kind of doing, okay? We're not doing a deadlift to get the guillotine, and that's what I want you guys to do. I don't want you guys to think about, I'm pulling this guy's head up like this, because that's where I'm going to give somebody who's good a position to escape, okay? Also, when I do that, I'm extending everything, which there's room for people to start getting their arms in, start passing guards and doing things like that, okay? So, again, when I get my position here, right, the difference between me doing this, right, you see how I can still get it, but it's more of me pulling his spine out from inside his body as opposed to actually getting technique, okay? From here, I need to get my armpit over that neck, okay? Remember, I'm stopping him from going over. I'm getting my hand here, and what I need to do is I need to stay tight, okay? From here, I'm gonna squeeze, and I'm staying tight, right? I'm getting close as I can, I'm getting that squeeze, and I'm getting here. So look at the difference in the tap. I'm gonna go really, really slow, okay? There, and now look at this. I'm gonna go probably twice as hard here. You guys see the difference? He's tapping a lot quicker with a lot more force. I mean, with as little force as possible by me going into him. When I'm pulling his neck out, yeah, it's uncomfortable, yeah, it hurts, but you get somebody stubborn. Like personally, I probably won't tap on that unless the Incredible Hulk's gonna rip my head off, right? So stay tight as we're doing that, okay? So now we'll do it from the guard, and I'll show you the positions to be able to move back and get the space we need. Okay, so the guillotine from this position. So most of the time people will start here, and this is part of like a trilogy that I teach from the beginning, right? I got my closed guard, my knees are tight under his ribs, my legs are pressed down towards his butt, and I'm getting that squeeze so I can control him, so I can move him as I want, okay? Most of the time as they're trying to pass the guard, they're not gonna put their hands on the mat, right? They're gonna be on my hips or here, trying to get a good base, so I need to break that base. I'm gonna get here, and now from here, this is where I have my Kimura. I can switch and get my hip bump that I want. And then the third thing from here of the trilogy that I teach is the guillotine, okay? So if I get to my position, right, and let's just say I'm gonna go straight to the hip bump. Bring his hands to the mat, I sit up, I get here, and I try to get my hip bump, but he's just too big and strong. I don't have the 45-degree angle that I need, or he starts hugging me, right? And now I'm like, oh man, he beat me to the punch. And it's hard for me to get that position. I can still fight through here to try to get it, but it's not even worth the fight for me, okay? So what I'm gonna do here, switch the angle a little bit. As soon as my legs are here, I'm in this position, I'm gonna throw my arm back in that guillotine position with my armpit over his head, okay? Now, I don't need to get really deep at this point. My main objective is just to put my elbow over the base of his head and come down to stop him from moving back or just posturing up exactly, right? So from here, my armpit's on the base of his head, okay? Now for me to finish this, from this position, I need to move my hips back, okay? I might be able to get the guillotine from here, but I haven't even gotten my hands clasped together yet, and he's giving this to me, and it's still really tight for me to get, okay? So when I get this position, I can either grab under his armpit and grab this lat to keep his posture broken, or I could just put a lot of pressure driving my elbow down to my knee here to stop that posture, okay? I'm almost grabbing, if you look up, I'm putting pressure with his armpit over the base of his skull or his neck, and I'm almost grabbing my own thigh to stop him from posturing or posting so he can escape, okay? Either one of those two work. So once I get to this position, now I have to make room, okay? And the reason I need to make room is to get my other arm clasped together, okay? So once I get to this position, I'm gonna move my hips back. My hand's already back here, right? Because I was gonna do that hip bump position. So once I get to this position, I move my hips back to make that room. Now that I've made that room, I can stay here and finish it, or he's gonna wanna drive into me thinking he can escape, and that's where I get my position back in the full guard, okay? Another thing, right, from this position, let's turn this way. As soon as I get my position here and I close my guard, I'm not extending him down and pulling up in that deadlift position. I don't want that, right? If you look, I'm not even going hard, and he can already do that, right? And if he starts fighting my elbow, so yep, it's making that room, and he's gonna struggle, but he's gonna get out of it, okay? So what I need to do, as soon as I get this position, I'm bringing him into me, and then I'm squeezing to get that position, okay? I'm using like 10% of my power here, bring him in, as opposed to using 50, 60, 100%, where I'm extending, trying to pull his spine out from under him, which I give him the escape, okay? So in all these positions, I need you to stay tight here, as opposed to extending where I'm trying to rip his spine out. Plus, your partner's not gonna really appreciate that, okay? So really, really quickly. Get in that position just like that. All right, let's work on that.